Hey, so I really feel compelled today to share my walk away story. So, my whole life I grew up and, I was a Democrat. Like, everyone around me was a Democrat. People were Democrats, I didn't really know anything other than the fact that Democrats were supposed to be the party that helped everyone. It was just this amazing party, and they were the good guys while the Republicans were the bad guys. And I didn't grow up in like a primarily black area. I grew up actually in a primarily white area. And I went to public school all my life, and then I went to a private elite women's college for college. And it's really interesting because I've never really been like a very political person. And I was too young when Obama was up for election both times. The first time I voted was in 2016, and I don't even know if they got my election because honestly I was at college, so I did a paper ballot, so who even knows really. But I just remember being so incredibly upset when Hillary didn't win in 2016 because I was in my senior year of college, and the whole campus was in tears because we were like, oh my God, Trump, he's this misogynist, this racist, this homophobe, this everything. And I even protested in Boston and was like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like, that's how far deep I was into this. And before I even went to college, I was nowhere near as radical as when I left college. Like, it was just crazy. Like, after I left college, I just hated men. I hated anyone who disagreed with me, basically. And I learned to protest in college, and I learned about being a social justice warrior and posting all this stuff on Facebook for the Democrats and all this other stuff, because again, I thought they were the good guys. So fast forward 3 years. I've been out of college 3 years now, and things really start, I really liked Andrew Yang when I started to really dig into who he was, and he had a cool personality, and I was like, oh, I could totally see this guy being president. I could support him. But then he dropped out of the race, and then I didn't really like any more people on the Democrats side, so I was kind of like, all right, well, whatever. And I was an economics major in college, so a lot of his economic policies honestly didn't make all that much sense, the more I really thought about it. So slowly I kind of started to listen to people like Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk and the Rubin Report, but really Candace Owens was my intro. And the more I listened to her and the more I actually looked into what she was saying and did my research, the more I realized that the Democrats are literally they're all communists and Marxists. And I've always been a capitalist because I believe in the free market system. I think it's the best way to for world prosperity, the best system that's been created. And I also saw through my studies that communism, socialism has never worked. And coming from my liberal arts background and seeing how I was literally indoctrinated into believing that the Democrats were the best party, and that socialism isn't that bad, and all this other stuff, it really got me thinking about the fact that I was brainwashed. And it was very liberating for me, because then I was like, oh my God, I'm a free thinker now. I can speak thoughts for myself. And so I came out on my Facebook profile, in my community, and I was proud to be a Trump supporter, love to all. And I got so much hate from people. It was insane. You would have thought I was saying that I wanted to like kill people. But all I said is that I was voting for Trump, and I didn't say anything mean about anyone or anything like that. And I just got so much hate. And honestly, that only further validated the fact that I was brainwashed, because there was such a visceral, emotional reaction from people. And I was like, that's really like not right. If someone disagrees with you, you shouldn't be reacting so emotionally and like canceling them and doing all this stuff. Like, it didn't really make sense to me. So obviously I started to look into it more. I actually found the hashtag walkaway campaign maybe like a few weeks, months later. And I realized that this is a real problem. Like, our schools, our colleges, our everything is really indoctrinating people to be Democrats and like be communists basically. And then I watched like a Trump rally, and I started really listening to like him speaking versus it being funneled through some sort of like mainstream media thing, like channel or paper or website or whatever. And I realized that they were totally misconstruing everything that this dude was saying and creating a narrative out of sound bites. And so I really caught on to the fact that it really is fake news. Like, he's been saying it. So, you know, after all that, and like telling some of my family members that I was a Trump supporter and like the disagreements we would get into, I realized like I could never vote for a Democrat ever again. And this is not to say that I'm gonna blindly vote for Republicans, but in terms of the Democrats, like, I can't stand for that, you know? And also, like, I had spent some time in San Francisco, and I got to really see firsthand the homelessness situation there. And that whole state and city they're all run by Democrats. So it's like, why is there such an issue there with homelessness if these Democrats are supposed to be helping the problem? And it's seemingly only getting worse, and there's such high taxes there. Like, people complain about that. So I'm like, you know what? This isn't matching up. Like, clearly the leadership is not fit to run this place, and I have to vote against that. So I've left the Democrat Party. I will never be back. And I just wanted to share this with the world. So, yeah. Happy to be an independent or conservative independent, and more importantly, to just be a free thinker. So